This conference will now be recorded.
One is the sprint planning, stand-up call or sprint call or scrum call, whatever. Next one will be sprint retrospective. Okay, so like that will be there. It will be there three terminologies. Okay, the sprint planning. So the day one. Okay, day one of the sprint. Day one of the sprint, they are going to start the sprint planning. The sprint will be either it could be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks. Depends upon the company. They're going to set the sprint. Okay, it could be 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Okay, the first day of the sprint, they're conducting the sprint planning. Okay, in the sprint planning, they're going to assign all the Jira tasks, all the stories tasks to each team member. Over the team members. So over there in the team, the project developers and then QA as well as the BA, for all the guys, they're going to assign the tasks in the day one, the sprint planning. Okay. So based on this task only, we have to start our daily activities. As a QA, for example, they assign for you two tables, two dimension table or one fact table they assigned for you for the QA. Okay, testing. So you have to start for based on the whatever they assigned. Okay, you have to start your testing validations. So you have to prepare the test cases, you have to prepare the test data if required. Okay, and then you have to prepare the test we have to start the test execution, and then you have to prepare the sign off document, QA sign off, test closure document. So these things we have to start based on the task they have to assign in the each team member. Okay, when they are going to assign mean the sprint planning, they are going to assign all the tasks. Okay, next from day 2 onwards. So day one is they assign the task, right? From day 2 onwards, we have to tell. This is a stand-up. We call a stand-up call or sprint call or a scrum call. Okay. So in each day, we have to tell what you have done yesterday, what you are working on today. Okay. You have any blockers, you have to highlight in the stand-up call. You have to say your progress, where you are. Okay. Based on the task you are done, right? Based on those tasks, you have to give the updates in the stand-up call from each second day onwards. Okay, in the last day of the sprint, for example, you take the 2-week sprint, then the 10th day or 14th day. If you take the weekly 5 days, then it will be 10th day. Or if you say the starting Sunday means 14th day, last day of the sprint. Okay, in the last day of the sprint, so they are going to conduct again the sprint retrospective meeting. So here they will take so for example, here how many tasks you have assigned for the total 3 tasks you have assigned for you, for one member. For QA, they assign for the 3 tasks for one team member. So you have to tell what happened about the 3 tasks. Have you finished all 3, or is there any blockers? How many have finished? How many are you didn't finish? What is the reason? Means what went well, what not went well in the sprint, current sprint. Come on, what not went well, and any improvement. Any improvements for the next sprint. Okay, these things they have to taken from each and every team member. You have to explain. So if you have all the 3 completed, yeah, everything it went well for me. Okay, there is no blockers, there is no issues on the current sprint. If something or 2 is completed, 1 is not completed. So you have to tell as of now I have completed the 2 tasks. Okay, 1 story is not yet completed because of some network issue or developer not yet released or some blockers, whatever the regions that time. So you have to tell the regions, and then the improvement means they have to release for each and everything in the on time. Then only we can able to proceed and we can able to finish our task in the within the sprint. Like that, you have to tell the any improvement for the next sprint. Okay. So these three, the interview point of view, they will ask this one. What is sprint retrospective? Can you explain what they will discuss in the sprint retrospective? This question they will ask in the interview point of view, mostly. Okay. And also this in the sprint. Okay. In the Agile methodology, who are all will be involving the team meetings? Okay. So one is the product owner will be there. Scrum master will be there. The Scrum master will handle all the meetings. Okay. Scrum master will handle all the meetings, and then the task assigning. Okay. Task creation. Everything will take care by the Scrum master. Okay. The team members means development, QA, and business analyst. So these are the team members. Okay. So these three people are there in the scrums. Okay. Next. So this is what we discussed in the yesterday class, right? Any doubts, guys? Here up to here. Any doubt here? So next we'll see some interview point of view, manual concept. They will ask the manual task. So what is retesting versus regression testing? They will ask this question. What is retesting and regression testing? Can anyone have answer, please? What is retesting? What is regression testing? First, tell me the regression. Already we discussed the regression testing. As part of the ETL testing, I explained the regression testing. What is meant by regression testing?
Regression testing is
yeah, go ahead, sir.
Okay. Regression testing is something like, suppose if there is a new build that has come to the application, and with respect to the new build, what are changes it has impacted on the application, that we do thorough testing, that is called regression testing.
Yeah. Then okay. Anyone any other answers? Regression testing, any answers? Okay. What is retesting?
If suppose if the model will fail,
Go ahead.
First we can check the everything. Again we can do the retesting. So if you fail the some other cases in loading times, we can go to the retesting, sir.
Okay. So you will see. So retesting is nothing but whenever you found any defect or bug, whenever you found any defect, we raise a defect, right? So then we assign to the corresponding developer. Okay. Once the developer fix the defect, okay, then we are going to retest that one. So the functionality defect is fixed or not, we are going to retest, right? So that we call that testing we call as a retesting. Means already we tested and we found the defect. Okay. Once the developer fix the defect, so we are going to check that we are going to recheck the functionality is working expected or not. Okay. That kind of things we call as a retesting. Okay. So regression testing is nothing but, so already we have completed the testing. Okay. And then we provided the sign off document for that testing, for the table, whatever the task they given, the task is working as expected. So we already given the sign off. So later point of view, so they given some enhancements. For example, take the customer table or dim customer table. So this is the one real-time dim customer table. So dim customer table already we completed the testing. Okay. Testing okay. So later again they're going to add some functionality or existing functionality. They did change the logic, or they added some new columns or something like that. For this table, on top of that, they worked on the dim customer table with new enhancements. Okay, new columns or modified columns, something logic change or something modifications. with new enhancement, new changes. Okay, new changes on the dim customer table. So now we are going to check. So these functionality, whatever the new changes are there. So we are going to validate these new changes along with the old changes because of the based. So whenever we add the new changes, it should not affect the old functionality. Old functionality already we tested, right? We already tested and we given the sign off. If you do the modification or something, new enhancements, new changes, based on these new changes, it should not affect the old functionality. That is the reason we are going to check the old functionality as well as the new functionality as part of the regression testing. Okay, the regression testing means, so is there any new enhancements that came to the existing task? So we're going to check the new functionality as well as the old functionality working as expected or not. So based on the new functionality, it should not affect the old functionality. So that we are doing the regression testing. Clear, guys? Retesting versus regression testing. This is important. They will ask, guys. This is important. Every interview they will ask. The sprint retrospective they will ask question. The retesting versus regression testing they will ask. One more thing they will ask, the sanity testing versus. Can you guys go mute, please? So sanity testing versus smoke testing they will ask. Can you guys tell me anyone what is sanity testing? If you have any idea.
Sanity testing
Maybe
is the high-level testing or the testing we do when the build is given to the testers, and then just to identify that no blockers are there or
yeah.
no
So
impediments.
what is the smoke testing then?
This is also like in the first build we do the smoke testing to identify if there is any blocker or anything, but this is for the first build we do, and sanity testing we do it for a relatively stable build.
Okay, yeah. So the kind of both are the kind of same only, but then the smoke testing we are going. So sanity first we'll discuss the sanity testing means whenever we are releasing to the production. Mainly this we are going to test in the production environment. Okay, so whenever you are going to release to the production live, okay, in our data warehousing, okay, that time we are going to check the high level sanity testing. Means the count is well. See what is our testing functionality. The basic testing what we are doing, the count is matching or not, source count and target count. Okay, I'm talking about in terms of the our testing. Okay, we have to tell these kind of answers because of the testing definition will be different. Okay, so in our time we have to explain the based on our terminology. Okay, so data warehousing terminology. So whenever we are applying the any release to the production, okay, that time we are going to do the high level checks like count validation, duplicate check validation, and the business key validations. So these kind of three key validations we are going to perform on the at the time of the release. Okay, that testing we call as a sanity testing. The release is or whatever the build they are going to release, right? That is working fine or not. Okay, the same way the smoke also it will be kind of same only, but whenever they're going to release the big builds, means they're going to integrate into the multiple tables and then they're going to release in the single table to the QA. The development they're going to give to the QA from development environment to test environment. Okay, different modules they're going to deploy. So that time we are going to check the along with the high level scenario, few more scenarios you are going to considering. Okay, the distinct ref keys are there. Some more functionalities we are going to test in the as part of the smoke testing. So only here the high level we are doing the performing in the at the time of the UAT phase or the production phase. Once they release to UAT or production, so whenever they release to development to QA, okay, the major build, the major functional, the major modules. So everything will be integrating correctly or not. We are going to check here smoke testing along with the sanity. So we are going to do some more functionalities in the as part of the smoke testing. it will be similar only. Both will be similar only, sanity and smoke. But this is will be mostly we are conducting on the UAT phase or the production phase. This we are conducting mostly on the QA environment. Okay, that is a sanity testing versus smoke testing. Any doubts, guys? Here, sanity and then retesting, regression. Any doubts here? Next, one more important will be defect life cycle. So this is also they will ask in the interview point of view, guys. This kind of manual things they are going to ask. Okay, defect life cycle. So whenever you found the defect and then whenever you are going to close the defect, so in between what happened? How is the defect is the life cycle will happen. So last time we discussed the ETL testing life cycle, right? So the first requirement analysis, and then we have to go to the test plan design activities, artifacts, test artifacts, and then we are going to prepare the test cases or test data, and then test execution, and then we are going to the defect. If any defects at the time of the test execution, okay, and then the QA sign off. That is the life cycle of the testing. The same thing. So what is the life cycle of the defect? Bug life cycle or defect life cycle? Okay. So at the time of the whenever we raise any defect, yeah. So this is the life cycle, guys. How it will be there? The defect will be like this. So whenever we raise any defect, the state will be there in the review mode or new state. Okay, review mode or new state. Defect review. In the Jira we can have a defect review mode, or in the ALM all those things it will be there new. Okay, terminology will be different. So we can say the new or defect review mode. Once the defect review, by default it will go and assign to the whenever we raise, it will go and assign to the your lead. So over the authorization to assign the tickets to the other developers. It will go directly to the assign to the developers. Sorry, in the team, your leads. So the leads will review and then they will open the defect and then assign to the corresponding developer. Okay, the deal will open the defect whichever you raise, right? That they will open. The state will be open state and then assign to the corresponding developer. So whoever the corresponding developer for that defect, they will assign. Okay, for us it won't be there. Whoever the raise the defect, right? It won't be most of the scenarios. It won't give the access to assign as part of the life cycle. So it will go to directly to whoever the lead for your lead. It will go to the lead, the defect. It will assign to the defect. Okay, and the lead will be review the defect and then open the defect to new to open state and then assign to the corresponding developer. Okay, now the developer will able to got the mail. So some defect we are got the raising. Okay, so the developer will see the defect. Okay, whatever the defect there is, he feels it's not a genuine defect, it's not a valid defect, then straight away will be rejected the defect. The developer feels it's not a genuine defect, he'll straight away will reject the defect. So we call as an invalid defect. It's an invalid defect. Okay, or the developer feels it's a defect only, but at the moment we are not going to release, we are not going to fix the defect due to the some other emergency or some other important works or something like it. We are going to release not that much important that defect. So they're going to release in the later versions. Later means future sprints. Okay, that time they'll see as a deferred mode. Means whenever the developer feels the genuine defect only, but at the moment it's not, we're not going to fix this defect. So we're going to work on the in future. We're going to fix on the future. So that time they'll keep in the deferred mode. Okay, the defect it went to the deferred mode. Okay, otherwise the developer feels the genuine defect and is going to fix the defect immediately and then assign to the again tester to test the defect. Means here we are performing the retesting here. Okay, so you fix the defect and assign to the QA, means to whoever the raises the defect, right? They're going to assign to the back. So here we are performing the retesting here. So whatever we tested, right? So that time we are going to the retest. Okay, and then verify once the defect is closed, okay, fixed, then we are going to close. Or if the defect still is persisted, still not as expected, then we reopen and then reassign to the developer. Okay, so like that it will be there the life cycle. Once we are opening to closing, these many things will be there. Here one more also there is. Once the developer, so same kind of defect already you are raised. For example, duplicate issue you raised. Okay, for the one column, the one unique column you raised. Again, one more unique column is there in the table. If you raise the same kind of duplicate, again for that column also it's showing duplicates. In the same table, we have the two defects you raised the duplicate records, duplicate defects, right? So that time what you will say is a duplicate defect. So you will say duplicate defect, and then you assign to the main test only one defect. Okay, that time they say the duplicate defect is a duplicate. You will mention as a duplicate defect. Okay, so these kind of various phases will be there in the life cycle. That is a defect life cycle. So this question they will also ask the mandatory. Okay, so in an interview point of view, they will divide in the interview 30%, 40% will be questions will be ETL testing, 10% questions or 10 to 20% questions will be BI testing. Sorry, 30, 10, 70, 40% will be SQL, and 20% will be manual. So like that it will be there, guys. In the interview point of view, the questions they divide like this. Okay. You can see here 20. So 5% will be SQL. Sorry, data warehousing also they will ask questions. So data warehousing everything will be contested as this one only, 30%. Okay, 30% questions they will ask ETL plus data warehousing question concepts. The interview point of view, 10% questions they will ask the BI testing, 40% they will ask the SQL kind of questions, and 20% questions they will ask the manual. Manual is nothing but than just now I used to ask, right? What is STLC? What is defect life cycle? What is retesting and regression testing? What is sanity testing and smoke testing? Okay, what is Agile methodology? So these kind of things it will come under the manual. So this is the pattern. It will be they'll divide and they'll ask the question, guys. So each pattern, how much you are doing good. Okay. So like that it will be the interview point interview. Okay. Clear, guys? Defect life cycle clear, right? And also sometimes they will go for the white box testing versus black box testing. This question also they will ask as part of the manual testing. What is the white box testing? What is the black box testing? Anyone? Sandeep, Leela, Sandeep.
Yeah.
You're working
So in white
manual,
box
right?
testing, so in white box testing, we need to little bit of coding knowledge and as well as testing knowledge we should know. But in black box testing, we know like without knowing the functional like coding also we can test the functionalities, and the unit testing we can do in the black box testing. But in the white box testing, especially we should know the little knowledge on coding, then only we can perform a testing on that one. So generally white box testing will be done by the developers.
Yeah. So now they will ask the one question. So whatever you said that is correct. So black box testing means they only test for the functionalities, not the inside the code, all those things. How is it like most of the thing will be manual web application. Web application, how it will be working fine or not. Okay. the functionalities they are going to check here. Okay, as part of the black box testing, they are going to check the functionalities without knowledge, without knowing any knowledge on the technical knowledge. Okay, that they will perform that kind of testing we call as a black box testing. Okay, but come to the white box testing. So we have to do the structure validation, structure, and then coding. Everything we are going to check the as part of the white box. Some technical knowledge will be required for that to test the applications. Those kind of testing we call as a white box testing. Okay, so they will ask the question. So in data warehousing, which box you are going to do the which testing you are going to perform, either white box testing or black box testing. So you know what is white box testing, what is black box testing. Now tell me, in your project, in your data warehousing testing, so which one you are going to do?
White box testing.
Any other answers? Aparna?
For ETL testing, it is white box. For reporting, it is black box.
Yeah. So we are going to do the performing the combination of the white and black. Okay, combination of the white and black box, white box and black box. So we are going. We have to know the knowledge and the technical knowledge to perform the testing. And we have to know the functional knowledge and we have to test the functionality. Okay, functional knowledge also it will be important for the as part of the data warehousing. Okay, so we are going to perform the as part of the ETL and reporting testing. So we are going to check the functional testing. Okay, on the integration testing. The integration is nothing but the modules, right? What are the modules? They are the multiple sources. The multiple sources they are going to module means integrating, right? So integrating and then loading into the one Unix system. So that we conduct the integration testing, the functional testing, integration testing. Okay, these two testings we are going to perform the as part of the data warehousing, right? So it's a combination of the both white and black. We are going to perform the data warehousing. And then regression. Sorry guys. Okay. So these all those things we are going to perform the our data warehousing testing. It will be combination of the white box as well as the black box. Okay. So these are the most the testing concept they are going to ask, manual testing concepts. Okay, STLC, the starting, defect life cycle. Okay, agile methodologies, what kind of methodology are there? Sometimes the waterfall model and the spring model. Okay, and then V model, but mostly will be agile methodology. The data warehousing they are using, right? Agile methodology. Okay, next will be retesting, regression testing, the sanity testing, smoke testing. Okay, and then white box and black box. So these kind of questions they are going to ask us, and then we are going to discuss the test plan. The test plan, they ask, have you prepared the test plan? If yes, then we have to explain order. If you're not, so I didn't get the chance to prepare the test plan, but I know what kind of content will be there in the test plan. Okay, if it doesn't, you didn't prepare also fine, but you have to know the test plan, right? What is there in the content in the test plan? Okay. So that you have to explain. So what you have to do there in the content in the test plan. So mainly the test plan will be what to test, last time what to test, who to test, and when to test. So these kind of things they are going to describe in the. These were our understanding, guys. Not don't explain in the interview. Okay, this is our understanding. What to test, who to test, when to test. So these things, these kind of the sections will be we are going to cover into the test plan. Okay. For example, overview of the project. The first section will be you have to give the overview of the project. So what is the project functionality? You have to explain in the first step. Okay. Next will be assumptions. So the assumption section, you have to mention the assumption is already they have to prepare the test environment before they're going to start our testing. It has to ready, right? So whatever the tools are there, everything they have to configure in the test environment. Also they have to release the developer, they have to release the task in the test environment. Okay, and also they have to provide all proper documents before we are going to start the testing activities, right? So these kind of all assumptions you have to write in the test plan. Okay, what kind of assumptions are there? So these has to be ready. That is our assumption. You have to be ready before I'm going to start my testing. You have the test environment you have to prepare. All the required software they have to install, and then what are the code as they write. The code has to build into the load into the deploy into the test environment, and the required documents they have to provide into the testing. So these kind of assumptions you have to mention in the test plan. The next section will be the scope of the testing. Scope of the testing you have to write. Next section will be scope of the testing. Means what we are going to test as part of this project. You have to clearly define the scope. You have to clearly define. So later point of view they can't ask any questions. So we have to this test plan we have to circulate each and every the manager, delivery manager, who are the stakeholders. For everyone we have to share this one test plan. Once we got the approval, we have to share everyone. So this is our scope. This is I'm going to validate as part of this release. So like that you have to define the scope of the testing. So what are the tables are there? What kind of testing you are going to perform? So everything you have to mention in the scope of the testing. Functional testing, integration testing, regression testing, or how many tables are there? Okay, what are the jobs are there you have to executing? So all the information you have to mention in the scope of the testing. Okay, you have to define the scope. Next, out of scope. Out of the scope. What we are not going to test this. So out of scope. Okay, next section will be out of scope. You have to mention. See, in the out of scope, what we are not going to test means the test environment preparation, configuration testing we are not going to perform, right? They have to do all those things. So we are not going to check the configuration, test environment preparation, and then performance. We are not concerned in the performance. Then you have to say performance testing is not done. So whenever you are doing the ETL testing, that time we are not doing the out of scope will be reporting. So reporting we are not doing to perform. So like that, what kind of out of scope you have to mention all the out of scope models. Okay. Next will be prerequisitions. Means entry criteria and exit criteria. Entry and exit criteria. For testing, what is the entry criteria? What is exit criteria? Okay, pre and post. Okay. Next will be environments. Next will be environments. So where you are going to work, which environment you are going to do the testing. So the environment details and the dates, milestones, or release dates. Means when we are going to start the test plan, when we are going to start the test case preparation, when we are going to start the execution, then how many days it will take, and what is the closing sign off when we are going to finish. So with estimations, milestones or estimations we are going to mention in the test plan. Okay, milestones or test estimations. You have to mention the how many days and from which date to which date we are going to take. Everything you have to mention the milestones. Next will be resource allocation. So who are going to involve in the testing in the project? Who are going to involve in? So which are the QA team members or leads? Who are the leads are there? So only QA related. This we are talking about only QA related, not the developers. Okay, QA, who are the involving? So QA manager, QA lead, or QA team members. So who are going to involve in this project? We have to give the resource allocation. Okay. Next, defect life cycle. You have to mention defect life cycle. What life cycle we are going to follow, and then any risk. Okay, risk. So these kind of content will be there in the test plan, guys. Okay, these things you have to explain in the. They will ask in the interview point of view. Can you please explain the test plan? What are the fields are there? What are the content will be there in the test plan? So I'm going to ping you guys. Okay, this is about the test plan. So it will be cover everything will right. So what to test, when to test, and who to test. So these 3 points it will be covering right here. Based on this one, what to test means the scope of the testing you have to define. Who to test means who is the resources. When to test means where is the release dates. So these 3 points they are going to cover the test plan. So this is the overview of the test plan. So you have to prepare this document. We are the more than 4.5 or 5 years above. They will ask to prepare the test plan. We are 2 years or 3 years, so they won't ask them to prepare the test plan. Minimum 5 years, above 5 years, guys, they were going to ask to prepare the test plan in the real time. Okay, but we have to know, everyone knows the what will be there in the content will be in the test plan. Either 2 years guy or 3 years guy, 4 years guy, whoever there, all the QA should know about the test plan. Okay, any doubts, guys? Here test plan. Okay, clear, guys? Test plan. Sorry. So I'll share these documents, guys. Each and everything I have explained here. Okay, here will be each and everything I explained here. I'm going to share this document. In this document also I'm going to just explain the black box testing, gray box, all those things, GLC, STLC, okay, all the manual testing, Scrum, okay, and just I explain all those things here. Then what are there will be their manual testing to cover. Now most of the this is only, guys, most of the things they're going to ask the interview point of view, these kind of things only. Okay, this is related to the manual testing. Okay. So next we'll go for the Unix, guys. So they will ask the Unix command, basic Unix command. So, but this is not that much important. Means important means this we are not going to do the in real time. So as my 14 years experience, I max roughly I use it 3 or 4 times, 5 times only. Okay, but they will ask the interview point of view, have you know the knowledge on the Unix? Then you have to tell clearly, I have the basic commands I know, but I won't use the frequently, but I know the basic commands, how to use that one. So they will ask the tell me what kind of commands you know. Okay, so I'm going to explain some commands. These only frequently they are going to use in the real time, guys. Okay, one is the ls command, means for any of the directory, any of the folder, for example, a folder is there. So this is a folder. So the forward class one is the one folder. So under this folder, what are the content will be there? What are the files will be there? I want to see the files in the Unix, the server. Okay, I want to see this particular folder. What are the files will be there? I want to display. So that way, that is in that time they're going to use the ls. Okay, ls space. You have to give the path. Whatever the path is there. For example, I'm going to give the d classes. Okay. So here now it will be display the in this ls in this path. So what are the the files will be there. So all the files will be displayed. Okay, that is the ls command, guys. Okay, next will be there the frequently wc word count. Okay, for example, here will be there something the class or one dot sample.txt, like that will be there, or csv something. So in the under class we have the one folder is there, one document is there. So I want to find how many records are there, what is the count will be there in this one, how many characters will be there, how many lines will be there. So by using the wc word count, we call it a word count. Okay, so wc, while using the wc you can able to find the particular file information. So at the time of I told so your source will be flat file, your source will be flat file, your target will be database. Then what is your approach, they will ask in the interview. So I told two approaches. One is the we have to connect to the server, and then we have to see the wc, the word count, how much the word count will be there. So we can able to check the only count, we can't validate the data here, right? We can able to see the only count of that file. But the second approach will be the first approach will be word count, the second approach will be I'll tell the, so we have to download the, we have to import the file will be temporary table, and then we have to do the data validation. The two approaches I explained at the time of the ETL testing. Okay, so this is the wc. Next will be mv, move command. Okay, if I want to move into the one location to another location, I want to copy. So how we are doing normally Windows, just copy and then we are going to paste in the some location. So here they are going to use the move command to forward. Okay, move command. Next is the copy command is the cp. Okay, for one sample to another one file to another file, if you want to copy one file to another file, you have to copy the file. So they use for the cp command. Okay, ls, you want to see the display. Word count means the count of the file records. So mv means you want to move into the one location to another location. Copy means they want to copy the one file to another file, the same information. They'll use for the cp copy command. Okay, rm means whenever the remove sorry guys, remove the file. Okay, for example in the directory I want to remove the one file, they use for the rm. Okay, so we have the cat command and then va command or touch, I think you use it. These three will be, so if you want to open any file, if you want to create any file, or if you want to open the any file, see the data, what data will be there in this sample. That time they use the cat, either va or touch. Okay, va means we can do the modify also, the content in the table will be, we can able to the modify editor, va editor. So these are the basic commands, guys. See, ls more means more content, what is the more is there in the file, part of the file, like cat command, the mv I told, and the cp rm word wc. These things are important, that's it. If you want to search a particular content in the file, then they will go for the grep command, grep command, grep, grep control. If you are doing the control F, right, here we are doing the how to find the control F and then we're searching that. So the same way in the Unix one, I want to find some content in the particular file, they'll use for the grep command, grep, grep, for searching the command. Okay, so these are the enough, guys. These will be enough. So these all are not required. See the grep command here, I mentioned the grep command. Okay, These are just required. I have one more document somewhere. I will share that one with syntaxes. I will can. That's it, guys. Okay. So these will be manual, the Unix commands, guys. Frequently, if you want, if they use for the tester, these are the commands they are going to use in the here. But it won't require maximum. It won't require the Unix for us. Some rare cases depends upon the project requirement. We have to connect the Unix. Otherwise, it's not at all required. Okay. Even if you have 14 years experience, I never use one max 1 or 2 times, or max 3-4 times I have used in the these commands. These only, not more than that. I use only WC and LS, and then the CP command. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 commands only I used. More than that, I didn't use anything, guys. Okay. But the interview point of view, if they ask directly, you have to tell how the basic command knowledge. Only to see the file and see WC and LS. So these kind of them, but I didn't get the chance to, mostly I didn't get the chance to work on the Unix side. So like that you can directly tell. Okay. It won't require also. Any doubts, guys, here? Up to here. So tomorrow we're going to see the cloud pride bias. Don't miss that class for tomorrow. So I'm going to show the one ticket task. How we are going to validate in the real time with the cloud big data testing. Okay. Cloud testing tomorrow and day after tomorrow. I'm going to do the cloud testing, guys. So one task I'll perform. I'll execute the job in the real time. Okay. And then what kind of test cases I prepared, how we are going to execute the queries, everything. Okay. Everything will perform on the tomorrow and or day after tomorrow. 2 days classes. Yes. Then most probably we are going to finish in the Saturday or Sunday. We are going to finish our course. Any doubts, guys, here?